The subtle art of not giving or not caring isn't that we are careless or it isn't important. It just means that we're not layering it with emotions. Welcome to another episode of Kate on a Bike. These episodes are completely unscripted. It's just me putting myself into my office slash gym slash bike training room slash spare room. Welcome to the world of living in a flat. And I just talk about what's happening in my head. I'm sitting on a bicycle some days up to 8 hours a day, sometimes more, sometimes less. And there's a lot going on behind the scenes of me training to be a world record holder, multiple world record holder, and break a few world's firsts. And it'd be quite easy for me to sort of put out that finished product to the perfection of an ideal world record holder and not share what happens behind the scenes. But, you know, I want to make sure that I embrace all parts of this journey and I take you along the journey that way. And that also involves sharing the challenges I'm facing as well. When I get angry, when I procrastinate, when I miss a training session because maybe the night before I had one too many G&Ts, and the human element. Because I don't think people are born extraordinary. People aren't born champions. People are actually made in their habits, in the daily routine, in when we don't want to get out of bed or we wake up with that hangover and still do what we have to do. Those are the moments that make the world champion, and potentially the day before when we actually stopped having the G&Ts in the first place. So these Kate on a Bike sessions aren't to promote me as this amazing finished product. This is just about, you know, Kate as a girl, as a woman, trying to step up and be a bit better than she was yesterday, and sometimes getting it right and other times hideously getting it wrong. But hopefully we can all learn from what I've been doing. And this week I've had a bit of the truth mirror held up to me. So I call it that, when someone reflects into me what I'm sort of ignoring or hiding. And it was around work. So I was still working full time. Just to make you aware, I'm not a full-time athlete. I still work as a coach and consultant, helping businesses uncover their own values and purpose, inspiring other directors or leaders within organisations or entrepreneurs to step away from their own procrastination and out of their own comfort zone into achieving their own goals. So I still work quite hard in bringing in money to live, as well as making sure that I donate time, or commit time should I say, to my goals as well of being an endurance athlete and a world champion holder. So to say it's a juggle would be an underestimation, because as I'm sure you, like you in your life, there's a lot of balls I'm juggling that I sometimes drop a few. And so the truth mirror that was held up to me today, that I've been avoiding one big thing, which is around work. I've been sitting back a little bit, waiting for people to come to me to ask to work for me. And last month, my income wasn't high enough for me to be comfortable knowing that I've got a base to live on, meaning I'm not making enough to cover my expenses consistently moving forward. I kind of just hid away and avoided doing the work I didn't want to do, which is selling. It's so interesting, that word. Do you, like, just personally, I'm asking you, do you have any emotional attachment when I say you gotta sell? Is it seen as a dirty word? To me, it just seems disingenuous. I don't know why. So this week it became, the truth mirror was held up to me, and I realized that I needed to get over this fear of selling, of actually putting myself forward and saying, hey, I'm a commodity in essence, you can work with me, and it does cost money to do that. So I got angry. I got really angry with my partner who made me aware that my actions were not selling. They were busy around the peripheral, promoting, marketing, sharing content, but I wasn't actually asking people, hey, would you like to work with me? And my immediate knee-jerk reaction was to get angry with him and tell him he was wrong and da-da-da-da-da, and he has no idea what he's talking about. But very quickly I realised that maybe he was onto something. So sitting down and obviously apologising for my outburst at him initially, I needed to get up close and personal about my relationship with selling, my relationship with what sales mean to me, my relationship in actually looking someone in the eye, or usually over Zoom or something nowadays, because I don't meet many people thanks to this amazing lockdown. Sarcasm is included free of charge. And realise that I've made something about selling I've made a meaning, should I say, out of selling a lot more than it is. If we just look at the activity of selling, or if I look at the activity of selling, all it is saying to somebody, hey, I notice you like my information. Would you like to have more? If you would like more, it comes at a certain cost. That is pretty much it. I need to just say those words and the response would either be yes, no, or maybe. That is it. Asking someone if they'd like to purchase a product or a commodity, such as the services I'm offering, and hearing a yes or a no. What I had done was taken this very simple language and layered it with meanings. I made it mean something. I made it mean that if they said no, that I was a failure. I made it mean if I asked someone that I was begging. I made it mean that if I heard no, then I couldn't achieve my dreams of in 5 years' time buying some land and building my dream house. There was so much mountain of meaning sitting on a very simple question, and I'd made it such a big task. And so what I did was I pulled out an old book I read a couple of years ago by Mark Manson, off the top of my head, and the title is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fudge. So the title says it totally. Why do I care so much? Why do I not do things because I care so much? And the title again and the contents within the book is gold, so please read it. If you're quite sensitive to swear words, maybe not, but it is absolute gold book. But I was like, what can I do to not care as much, to not give a flying flip around the art of selling? Because if I didn't give a fudge, then what would I be doing instead? I would be calling people a dime a dozen, the hundreds of connections I have and emails I've got and the thousands of people online, and just saying, hey, this is what I offer, does this interest you? Full stop. The subtle art of not giving or not caring isn't that we are careless or it isn't important. It just means that we're not layering it with emotions. So this also applies, and it's so interesting because when I look at my life in sport, I don't care what other people think about me saying to you, hey, guess what? This time next year, I will have a world record for cycling on this bicycle for 24 hours. I don't care what you think about me in 2 years' time attempting to cycle America, swim the Channel and climb Everest. I don't care about the emotional reaction of you, because to me, I know my purpose, I know why I'm doing it. And so anyone's response, be it, oh my God, that's so amazing, or you're an idiot to even start, has no impact on me. I'm like the water off the back of a duck, or like a frying pan made of Teflon. It doesn't stick. Yet for selling, and maybe one or two other areas I'm sure to find out soon in my life, things stick. It's a sticky topic that I avoid and bury. Yet, to be in flow state or in the zone of my life, it's about living that Teflon life, or, having that flow of water so it doesn't stop and get stagnant and all sticky. So I'm really learning to apply this week the subtle art of not caring, and also understanding it's a fine line, that I deeply care, but I don't respond to the emotional storytelling that I've attached to caring. So this book has really sort of helped me release that concern or fear of what if they say yes, what if they say no, what will they think if I say that they can work with me, all of that what if hoo-ha jazz that is only results, as at the moment, is preventing me from taking action. I'm now able to get into that space of caring about working with people who want to work with me, but not caring if they say yes or no. It sounds completely, crazy what I'm saying. I do hope it makes some sense to you, because it's making sense to me. It's about applying what I'm doing in my sport into the other areas of my life. Why, so that I can be in action. At the end of the day, people will say yes, people will say no, people will judge us whatever we do. They will think that we're not doing enough, they think we're doing too much, they think that we're crazy, they think that we're sane. It doesn't really matter. We're never going to please everyone all the time. So why not just not care what they're saying, not give a damn whether they love us or hate us or judge us or, become our cheerleaders, and just know that behind our action is an element of caring, and focus on that. So this week my realization is where I find myself sticking with excuses and emotions and making that mountain of reasons of not doing things, and finding that stagnation of activity because I'm just busy around the peripheral, not actually getting into action. Those are the areas that I need to release. I need to find out what meaning have I added? Why have I made it more significant than it should really be? And break it down into those simple steps and get into action. So this week, my mantra, if you want to call it that, is the subtle art of not giving a fudge. And it, as I said, has been helped on by that book, but it's also about me just, holding that truth mirror whenever I respond with anger or with fear or with some emotional reaction unconsciously. That's a signal for me to sort of really work on and release it. Because if we all stopped caring what other people are thinking, imagine what we'd be doing instead. So I really hope with what I've shared has given you some insight into what I'm dealing with at the moment, that even though if you look at my social profiles, I'm on the bike every day and in action, there is still a lot behind the scenes of working out how I can get my emotional balance as well in place, because we need a balance in everything, not just physical, but also emotional, spiritual, and that mental aspect as well. So this week's all about, for me, working on my mental aspect, getting less mental, attaching less power to my emotions as well, and just realizing that I need to let go of that caring too much about what if of the future and just focus on being in action. If you did enjoy it, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Kate Strong TV, and I've also got my podcast, which is Strong Voice, and I would love you to leave a review for it, as well as subscribing to that too.